just 20 days, this industry has been so much touched that it's not going to be the same of before.
Well, welcome everyone to another episode of the AV Magazine Lockdown Podcast. You're with Prashan, and I'm here with Manuele from dBTechnologies.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks for joining us, Manuele. Great to see you. It's been a little while.
Thank you very much for contacting me.
So, dBTechnologies is based in Italy, of course, and I think we were all wondering how you guys are doing, because Italy was one of the first to get hit pretty hard with the pandemic. So, Manuele, you're based in Belgium, but how are the staff and how's the company doing, and how did you tackle those initial few weeks at DB?
Look, in the month of March, it was every day. It was very tough because every day everything was changing, both in terms of seriousness of the contagiousness, in terms of cases that were growing day by day, and according to that, all the government took some very strict countermeasures. That the final step of those was by the end of March to lock down the whole country by keeping open only the essential companies, those ones that are giving healthcare services and food services like groceries and pharmacies and this kind of shops and business. So all the rest have been completely shut down. So production, logistics, warehouse, whatever, and we were of course included in this bunch of companies. So the result has been that not everybody of us could keep working full time. So the situation that we are living now is that we are some of us are keeping working from home. Some others are home waiting for the restart of the activities, especially the production workers, those ones that are in the supply chain, and so those people are home as of now because the government is not allowing to make anything actually. And so this situation, of course, as you might imagine, has caused, of course, a very big impact on our business activities in terms of manufacturing. If we see outside, we are all pretty on the same page, and so the situation as of now is very serious. It's very serious. Business has dropped. And for what concerns, especially the touring part of our business, it's really serious, I must say, because since there are no events around, no public gathering, no everything, this segment is what is suffering more than others, and as well as retail, that is selling, to people with the same purpose, just in a smaller scale, but with the same purpose, to make something public, something that is supposed to have, people together. So this problem is very serious. And we actually don't know what is we cannot predict, when this is gonna be fixed up, because it's depending of something that is way much above everyone. So, but of course, what we are expecting now is a substantial change in our industry, substantial change, because we are not in the same page of 15 days ago, 20 days ago. And just 20 days, this industry has been so much touched that it's not going to be the same of before. and I'm talking still about touring, the touring part. So that, of course, it's part of our business, and it's really, touching us as well as manufacturer, because as you know, we are very focused on this range. But luckily, speaking about dBTechnologies, we have pretty wide catalog that is going from touring to installation to retail, and thanks to that, we are now, starting to, let's say, focus and convert our products in that segment of the market that it might be going on, okay, even though this difficult period that is the installation one. Because when some countries are gonna restart having some business activities, the first one that are benefit from a bit of relax are the installation projects that are maybe temporarily suspended, but they are gonna restart. And in these projects, of course, the audio part is a part of the project, and thanks God, we have some products that are fitting also that market. And what we are trying to do now is to really focus on that, in order to allow our distributor to to use our product to be promoted and to be applied on this segment. This is the only thing that as of now we can do, because we are getting some feedback from our distributors that, for instance, in some countries things are going better, like Korea or Taiwan. The countermeasures that those governments took are very effective, and business are already benefiting from this. And we are having some feedback that some projects are getting restarted, and this is including also audio products. And in this case, we can fit. Okay, we can do something. For instance, we got one new order from Korea just a couple of days ago, and it is a very positive signal that when a country, even though it's not so connected with other countries, but it's mainly doing an inner job, it's still doing something, and this is already turning out into business, some more or less small, that are including only specific products that are for installation purposes, for sure, but still it's a positive signal. Yeah. And we are getting the same feedback from other countries that are stepping out this bad situation. For instance, Taiwan is another country that we are having good feedbacks. And I'm supposing that whenever this situation is calming down, this is the first segment that is gonna get it started again. For what concerns touring, it's totally another story. We are having instead, a total different feedback that is much worse, because rental companies, especially the small medium ones, let's say, that are working, that are getting their business from daily jobs. So they are, let's say, counting their money by doing day-by-day jobs. If they are if they hold on for too long time, they really risk to fail, and to shut down completely. So this is already the feedback that we are getting from all the countries, especially those big ones where there are many layers, let's say, many tiers of business, and the tier, let's say 2 and 3, that are the mid small range, is suffering very much. The big as well, because they are owning, a very high value products that as of now are basically not usable. But for those that have financial capabilities, to still, holding on and waiting for this storm to be passed over, it's fine. But those are, we can really count on hands. I mean, there will be very few companies that are able to do that, because all the rest are, basically the touring market is composed of some giants rental companies in each country that are really few. So we can count 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe rental companies that are, really, maybe they are based on the market since 50 years, that are doing the major jobs in the country, etc. But then, besides it, there is all the widen, let's say, field of the wide field of mid-range rental companies, that they are those ones that are really touched from this problem. And so we will see. In my opinion, there will be a dramatic drop of players in the market, and it's not gonna be in the next few months. In my opinion, we are gonna restart doing something in this range, starting from 2021, to be very positive, I must say. So in the most optimistic case, 2021 it will be the period where we could see again, some possibilities of doing touring business. And at that time, I'm afraid to say that we are not going to count the same number of players that we are used to deal with, because many of those, there will be, unfortunately, very unfortunately, disappeared. And this is going to have a big social impact in our industry. And it's going to definitely change, even the way that we are used to work. Because in my opinion, the shape of this business will be changing forever. I mean, even, let's say, even we are not going to see the same field, that we are used to work with. So it will be changing the shape, even the approach to the rental companies. I think that there will be done some evaluations that are always taken into consideration a dramatic, problem that is, that might happen suddenly. So there will be taken, some measures, some, let's say, even from a financial point of view, we are used to see, very extended payment terms, to allow, rental companies to deal with customers. I think that everything is going to be changed. I cannot predict how, but it will be definitely changed, because otherwise the touring market will be always suffering from a non-plan B. So this is, let's say, a problem that the touring market now didn't have a plan B to face, maybe a big problem like that. So this lack of plan B is gonna be, let's say, in my opinion, strategy of every company that is doing this job, including the manufacturing. In my opinion, when we are gonna rethink about this market, the first thing is that not just to think how to face the current situation, but how to face, a possible situation that is gonna maybe come out from a big problem like that. So a plan B, in this case, it will be that one that is gonna make the difference, and is gonna, let's say, build the base of trust from the market. So if you are gonna deliver, a very strong strategy that is based on let's say, a safe zone, okay, where you can play, then I think that one, it will be the real difference, because then the products are the same. I mean, there is no, it's not a product problem or whatever. It's just, a strategy problem now. It's something to be redefined.
So yeah, it's so true that it seems like no one in the events industry really planned for a pandemic and what it was going to do to the industry. It wasn't really written into the clauses of the contracts, so to speak. And then when it came, it just so quickly and easily brought the industry down to a halt. So in the future, like what you're saying makes so much sense, that these companies will need a plan B. And I think that's the story of many other companies now, where things that weren't really their focuses are now having to become their focus just to pick up the extra business and make things work in this adjusted context.
Besides, but when I say plan B, I mean that, you know, rent companies or whatever is doing this job, if it's not the touring part, maybe they have, you know, some other jobs to be done, like maybe, I don't know, installation or whatever. Even the manufacturers, you know, I think that nobody is gonna invest only in these products, but there will be, you know, something, you know, to take out from pocket and, you know, be ready to, you know, to sell immediately, because otherwise you're gonna get stuck. So this is the plan B that I'm figuring out.
Yeah. So do you think the install market will become a much greater focus for dBTechnologies now as a result of COVID?
I think that we are kind of forced.
Yeah.
So yeah, my answer is yes, for sure, because even though it was not in the plan of dBTechnologies to develop installation products in the very near future, it was already in the plan. Okay, so the installation segment, it was the plan of DB gradually. Okay, to get into this segment
not
gradually.
For 2020, let's say.
Not to 2020, of course. But it was in the pipeline. Why? Because the installation segment is much wider than the one, so it's a very, you know, big portion of the cake that we were missing out. But now it's gonna be, of course, these steps are gonna be cut off, and we are gonna start immediately to focus on this segment with two let's say parallel ways. The first one with the current products. So the current products must be now, you know, must be, let's say, promoted in another way. If a VO, for example, if a VO208 88 line array, as of now, has been promoted much more in the touring segment, this is not possible now. So we are gonna, of course, you know, promote it in the installation segment. That is actually one of the application of this product, but as of now, the let's say the orientation of the company was to be a player in the touring market. So for sure, even the vision, the marketing, the business, us as a sales manager, we were trying, you know, to get in the touring market. But this not means that product, specific products, cannot be used for another purpose. So as of now, we are totally, of course, focused on the other purpose. So we're going to check our products. We're going to say, okay, let's see what are our products about. What are the applications that can be used? Let's make, you know, our products suitable for another range of market that maybe it was already, but, you know, we were not promoting as you know, as the as installation products. First of all. Secondly, I'm expecting. I can't tell you now because we are actually, you know, disconnected now, one from each other. You know, people are home. We are not talking much each other regularly as we were doing since 1 month ago. But I'm expecting that the company is investing much more in this segment. Why? Because it's, you know, it's going back on what I've said before. This is the plan B that you must have, you know, in case of some crisis. So the variety of the product, let's say, the variety of products allow you to, let's say, redirect your business in case of problems. But this is not only due to a pandemic like now. In my opinion, is in general. So this is, let's say, a lesson that we have to learn about, because more variety you have, more possibilities to keep doing business you have in every kind of scenario. A pandemic one, or maybe, you know, just a drop of touring business in a regular situation. I don't know.
Yeah. As you said, Manu, this situation is just pushing faster all those activities that we already had in mind times ago. And For many other markets or business, this is just making things going faster. The process of developing, deciding where to go, and also communication side. I don't know, Preston, if your first question was also about the communication, but anyways, Manu already said that we have to communicate in a different way. And also in this case, this COVID-19 situation is making us think that those things that we had in mind before, they have to be operative right now, like moving more digital for the communication and pushing the products in another application way. Like VO8 was the perfect example, but as that one, we have many others, like Ingenia. We have a lot of products which we always pushed as touring, but still they can be perfect for installation. And also, as Manu said, the communication, everything has to be quite different right now.
So how confident do you both feel about this new challenge of, I guess, getting into the installation market? And is it so much about, I guess, re-pitching your current offerings, or is it about actually creating new products to try and, tap into a whole new world of, ceiling speakers and that kind of thing? Is that where you're going, or is it more just what you've currently got that you're repackaging as installation friendly?
I guess it's both, Manu.
I'm okay. I'm not expecting to make such kind of products that are really pure installation, like ceiling speakers, or it will be, let's say, still, following our vision, our identity, that is to make for sure speakers that are, let's say, having an audio output somehow, okay, that is not just, small volume and something like that, but it will be for sure thought in a way that the installation is going to be a market that we can play in by saying that this is an installation product. So we have already some cases, as Stefano is saying. The only things that is making now the difference is that we are not communicating it in this way, even though they can be. All right. So, in my opinion, we are not going to change the shape or the identity of the company. We are just remodulating it from a technical application. So we're going to say, look, do you remember this product? Yes, this product is not only touring, it's also installation. We are going to explain you how. And maybe we have some case histories to show you. And, distributors and end users can be much more aware of the multiple, applications that they can do with the current products. Regarding the developing, I'm wondering that the developing will follow the same, let's say, identity that we have now, but for sure with a much more focus, okay, or a much more attention on what can be also the characteristics to make this product suitable for installation purposes. So I'm not going to say that we are going to drop the touring market. It will be impossible, because it's not going to be dead forever. I mean, it's just a matter of time. The only problem is that this period of time, it will be much longer than what we expected at the beginning of this pandemic, because it's much worse than everyone was expecting. So we can't, just hold on for 1 year and a half till the time that, this market is going to restart again. This would mean, to completely, to disappear actually from the market. So what we have to do is run two ways. The first one is, let's say, communicate differently our products. That is not changing the shape of the company. It's just a matter of communication and, promotion. We would like to start some trainings, okay, on how to use our products much more for the installation. And luckily they have installation characteristics, as I said. But the other, developing start from the scratch, it will be following the same shape, the same identity, but by having a much more maybe attention on what they can be also the installation characteristics, maybe by adding some, by revising others, in order to be ready, to promote these products for the installation market as well, or even only for the installation market. But this doesn't mean, to let's say turn dBTechnologies out to be an installation speaker company. It's just to face the current times and working according to what the needs of the market are now demanding. And if it was a plan that the dBTechnologies was already developing, but for the maybe not the near future, but for the future in terms of maybe 1, 2, 3 years, now it's going to be a priority that has a step up in our classification, and it's going to be developed starting from now already.
And you launched C series at NAMM this year, VOC series, and obviously the L212 flagship line array. How has the uptake been on those prior to the pandemic?
The VOC has not been released yet into the market. It was only communicated at NAMM, right, Ste? Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
We usually preview new products at NAMM show every year that will be released 3-4 months later. It's usually what we do at NAMM show. So in the case of VOC, it's like that. We preview. This was like a kind of premiere at the NAMM show this year, and this is the time in which they should have been released to the market.
Exactly.
But we have some delays, of course, on these things right now.
We were supposed to launch into the market in March, April. I would say in Frankfurt. So Frankfurt was the let's say the platform where we were launching into the market as a product to be delivered to the clients. Available, exactly. But of course we got some delays, and also we actually reduced also the quantities to be produced because of course the production is closed. Our labor force is not as efficient as usual, so we actually reduced a bit. VOC, for instance, is a product that actually is fitting perfectly in what I was saying before, because it's a very versatile product that can be used for installation purposes, especially, actually, because it's not I mean, it's also a touring product if you wanna use it like that, but it has many more characteristics that are fitting more with the installation purposes. So that's a perfect example. And VOL212, of course, is the product that won't be used for a long time because that is, no way to. Maybe yes, in some very big and huge auditoriums or theaters.
It's 90% touring market.
But it's 90% touring market, so that is gonna suffer, from this situation. So it's that one is really, but it's not only our case. I mean, and luckily, I must say that luckily, VOL212 is just one model of a very huge line that is comprising many other products that are actually reconvertible in installation products, including the VOC. I'm very afraid for those brands, for instance, that are doing only that market. This will be a very big problem. That was I saying before. Thanks God we have a wide catalog that is allowing us, to let's say to reconfigure ourselves, according to the current needs. So even though we are not going to sell VO212, maybe for 1 year, we are going to try as much as possible to reconvert our other touring products into installation purposes. And those one, they cannot be made with VO212, of course.
Let me also add, Manu, that I had this chat often with Giovanni, for example, and we are pretty confident that, yes, there are other brands which are only touring oriented and they will suffer more than us, but also at the same time, Within all the touring brands, we are one of those which is delivering a good product at a good price point. And this means that whenever the touring market will start again to work, and we will see with how many customers left, we are one of those brands which is more affordable for after the crisis, the economic crisis, rather than super expensive brands that we don't actually know who will be ready to invest on those ones. I am not mentioning any of those, but you know very well that there are very expensive brands out there.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
If the touring market is going, I don't know, in September, October 2021 to start again working, I think dBTechnologies could be one of those brands which people will think about first, because the quality is good, as everybody knows, and the price point is not the highest. It doesn't require that huge investments that many others do.
Yeah, the cash flow will be very much reduced. I mean, the investment, the cash flow in the hands of the rental companies or whatever, it will be much less than now. And in that segment, we fit much easier than other companies, because we can deliver high quality, but we can, let's say, deal with reduce the cash flow, okay, with limited cash flow. This is actually our market. I mean, we are, this is our market. We want to give, very high standards, but by saying, look, if you have a limited budget, no worry, you have a good quality, but we can, you don't have, to squeeze up your funds, to get a product that can make the job as many others can do. So in that scenario where all the companies will be having a limited budget, so we can really, make a good part. Okay, this is an hypothesis, of course, but it's viable. I mean, it's not so crazy to think about that.
Yeah.
No. To me, it's logic, Manu. It's logic.
Yeah.
We will see what happens. Of course, nobody knows exactly about the future, but this is pure logic. I mean, I think it will work like that in the future.
Yeah.
This will kind of a real dynamic of the market.
So, in tapping into the installation market, how much do you think the challenge will include working with suppliers who might not be familiar with those kinds of jobs?
That's a good challenge.
I must say that luckily, most of our, and I'm referring only to my area of responsibility that I know pretty well. Luckily, most of our suppliers are already installation oriented, because, of course, being a multi-brand distributor, okay. If you, in the case of distributors, even much more needed than us, maybe, because you are a distributor, and if you put into your wallet 5 brands that are doing the same job, if that job drops, you are over, right? So the strategy of any distributor, at least in the Asia Pacific that I'm working with, is to make the portfolio of brands as much varied as possible in order to be ready, okay, to cover different segments of the market. So the installation is pretty much covered by everyone that we are working with. There are some ones that are much more focused on installation. There are others that are a bit less focused. At least everyone is already present in that market. So I'm not actually afraid. I'm very positive that we can already start working in that segment, not by asking to the suppliers to get into that market from the scratch, but we can already use the channels that they opened with other brands or with other even other industries, like, I don't know, lightings or whatever, to also add our products in there. And that's something that for sure we are benefiting from. So the installation market is not something that is going to be new for our suppliers for sure. Everyone is already working there because, as I told you, if you look at the ratio between touring and installation, it's much more, let's say, heavy the installation part, than the touring part. Installation is around 80% maybe of the audio industry, and something that cannot be stopped. Cannot be stopped. Can be suspended, like now, but cannot be stopped. So in that case, also our distributors, our suppliers will be having more chances. And since they already work with that segment, we are lucky because we are already there.
That's great. Yeah. So, do you have any idea on when you guys can start manufacturing again? Has the government given any indication of that?
Well, right now, the first official communication for government is that from May 4th, we will start the so famous phase 2. That means getting back little by little to our habits, whether it concerning private lives or business. It's not still, maybe Manu is more informed, but it's not so clear yet what is able to start again, what is not, and so on. But in our case, I think that production-wise, it's could be not May, but maybe this summer.
Okay.
But still nothing official. There is nothing official, even because our government, which is doing honestly a great job, is facing this problem step by step. So we have new communications every week, sometimes every day. So far, May 4th is the time for the phase 2 of this situation. But Manu, maybe you have more information about business-wise what's going to open again. But it's not so clear yet.
What we are for sure trying to do now is to use as much as possible our current stock, our current availabilities, without pressing too much the production line, because you have to also to know that our production line in Italy is 99% is for touring products, right? So touring products are those ones that are now suffering very much. And since we have, a pretty good stock of those products, I don't think that the company is gonna keep doing some other, additional ones because it's not necessary. I'm figuring out that if, for instance, some products like VO208 or those ones that are more installation suitable will be having a good response, I think that in that case, the company is gonna restart, maybe, manufacture something in order to always have a bit of stock available. But this will be mainly according to the market response. I don't think that now they're going to invest on manufacturing something that is not very sure that we are going to sell in the near future. As of now, whatever we manufacture is because it was it was done according to the market needs that we were. It was really predictable. Okay, so we have a trend that we follow, and we try to keep this trend monitored in order to be able to deliver our products according to what we predict. Okay, the forecast actually. Now the forecast is impossible to be done, so we are just trying now to start this process of let's push our products in the installation side. And once the response will be positive, then of course maybe you have an historical background, an historical track that you can start doing maybe some production adjustments. But till the time, I'm afraid that it's even risky for the company, right? I mean, now the funds that you have, that the company have, you cannot even, how can I say, you cannot risk to lose money. In the normal situation, yes, you are healthy, you are getting big turnovers, big numbers. If you make a mistake, you can counterbalance with another good thing. Now, if you make a mistake or if you risk too much, you actually risk maybe to damage your employees, for instance. And this is something that the company cannot take as a risk as of now. So that's why I don't foresee big production activities for some times again. I don't know, Stefano, if you think.
No, I agree, and I just answered to Preshan that what you say is right. Is if we will ever have small amount of production again, I guess won't be before this summer. No way, July, August, September maybe, not before. And Manu is right. It won't be a full capacity production. Will be a restricted one for sure.
Yep.
Even because we can't work. I mean, till the time we don't have vaccination, whatever that is gonna stop completely this situation. For instance, that one that Stefano called the phase 2, the round 2, let's say, is to go back to not go back to the normality, but to face this problem, by keeping some social rules that will be ongoing till the time that we don't have a vaccination. That is social distances, that is wearing a mask, wearing gloves. I don't know, everything that will be, let's say, necessary, to not to fall down again in the same situation that we were 1 month ago. And considering the production lines where people are working one next to
each
other, it's even impossible, from let's say from a practical point of view, to go back to the same capacity of before. It will be adjusted, and of course this is a real pity because it's gonna be a social impact. And this is why, as of now, we are going towards what the governments will be doing, because this will be very important. If the governments will be helping to the manufacturers, to keep employees, to let's say to help companies and employees, to stay good, till the time that the situation will be completely fixed up, then of course it's feasible. So it's depending not only on the, let's say, on the company itself and on the employees itself. It's depending on many other factors that now it's involving too many actors, especially also the governments, and you also have to figure, you have to deal with that.
Yeah, not much is predictable at the moment.
No, not actually.
Well, guys, thanks so much for your time, and it was really good just to get an update, hear where you guys are at. It's good to hear that there is a silver lining. That probably means a change of focus, but there's something positive could come about it. Hopefully, in a few years' time, we'll look back and the industry is stronger as a result. Might not look the same, but yeah.
Well, look, for sure we are lucky because we are part of one of the biggest group, financially wise, that supposedly it should manage to face even a pandemic. Of course, it won't be the same of before, but it will be for sure standing up. It will be keeping to stand up. That's even from an employee's point of view, like me and Stefano, it's one of the luckiest thing that we can now have, because I will not imagine what it does mean to be part of some of other companies that are not having the same financial capacity, for instance.
Yes. Somehow thanks to this, this is the reason why we feel safe and positive, that we are really focused on thinking about the future, because we know that we are lucky from this point of view. I mean, we are not working. Yes, we are working on one of the company which is working in the industry which is very affected by this situation, but within those companies, our one is probably one of the most solid ones, financially wise, and about taking care about employees. So I actually personally feel safe and lucky.
Yeah, it's very reassuring. So,
yeah, exactly.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything you want to just mention to the Australian market? What we can expect from DB when we come out the other end of this thing?
Yeah, look, looking at Australia itself, I mean, it's not predictable. What we can say is that we are there. We are constantly in touch with our distributor, NAS, that is trying to figure out this situation as well. And we are there. We didn't stop. So actually, there are some in and out business that we are keep on doing with the NAS in a very high spirit of collaboration. So both of us, we are not intending, to completely stop the machine. So NAS is still investing. Okay, even though this is a very tough period, but is for spirit of collaboration and also for strategic intention. That is, to even though there is a very small portion of business now, you need to be there. All right, you need to be there. And our products now, since the shape is much more installation, etc., with affordable prices, maybe it's also more feasible than others. And they are keep on doing their job, and this is very much appreciated from our side, because in this period you can't ask, I mean, what you want to require from people that are struggling, with some giant problems. But the the willingness of, for instance, NAS to keep working, to keep doing their best, to figure out this situation by keeping investing a bit and by keeping promoting our product is a really positive signal. And I think that both we're going to jump out this situation together. And the Australian market is it was really growing till the end of February. So it was very positive. Also the kickoff of this year was very positive, and we are not afraid that we won't be there in the next months. But the much more important now is to be there now, because we can't, we need to deliver positive signals to the market, and NAS is doing that, and this is really much appreciated.